has her podcast coming out that's this hashtag girl boss movement from 2016 that I'm just like, at what point is she going to get with the times?
Jen?
Honestly, I couldn't stand it. It was the disingenuous, false product she was trying to show to the world there that really insulted me. And I thought, if she was just there and she was like, look, guys, I don't cook. I've got a chef who cooks for me. This isn't what I do at home. This isn't what I wear when I'm at home. I don't, what was it? Wear expensive up top, cheap down bottom. And yeah, I don't prepare these, what are they called? Those, what does she call them? The vegetable bowls, platters.
Crudités.
Yeah, crudités. She doesn't do any of that at home. She doesn't make bar salts for her guests. But was just totally straight up. Instead of hiring people she barely knew to come onto this show, then maybe I would watch it and tolerate it. And if she was her total self, but it was embarrassing to watch. It's terrible.
You don't believe that she has her bee farm in her backyard and then goes and gets wax and brings the wax into the kitchen and makes candles from scratch?
Oh my God. I'm sorry, my 2-year-old son could do that. It was ridiculous. It was the words can't explain it. And I thought it might get a bit better, so I carried on because I had Paula on the show after episode 2, and I was like, oh God, this is terrible. We'll watch a bit more later on. And I stopped watching it, and then one of my friends came over and she put it on TV, unfortunately for me. And there I was again. But I found I was hooked on how bad it was. So that says a lot about me as a person. Not disgusting with myself for being hooked on watching that trash. So I think I need to go seek therapy.
Yeah.
How far did you get? One viewer wants to know, Jen. How many
episodes? Yeah. I got to the end.
Did Prince Harry come into it in the end?
Yeah.
I didn't actually see him on there, but he does allegedly. But
yeah,
it's
in the end episode, and her mother features. Oh, how far did you get, Zack?
I couldn't make it past the second episode. I
did
episode 1.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, episode 2. Mindy Kaling wasn't like, they did a whole a whole kids party, and then at the end there were no kids, and I was like, what is this sad party with all these balloons, and it's just the two of them in this awkward scene. They both have children. Like, that was the crazy part, is they both have kids. They're putting together a children's party, and then there's no children.
I just want to see her real. I want to see her in her real kitchen with Harry. You know, we don't need to see the kids because understandably, who wants their kids, on screen? That's total privacy respect there. But just the real her, regardless if she is a total cow in real life, people want to see it and they probably love her for it. If she was like blunt as day, I'd watch it. I'd be like, yeah, I respect that. But lack of respect because she just put that shit together and put it out online.
Yeah, I think to your point, if she had just been real, if she and Harry had been there, and even if she were in her sweats or whatever, and they were cooking breakfast together in the kitchen, like, yeah, you're right. We don't even need the kids. But like something as simple as that, I think people would have appreciated a lot more because they would have actually gotten to know her. But nobody believes that she's cooking in this all white beige outfit with this $1,500 cashmere sweater, and she's just mixing up eggs with Mindy Kaling. It's like, it's so out of touch and ridiculous, and
cooking wearing white without shoes, which is anti-hygienic. That nobody, if you're in a kitchen, nobody will ever. What if you drop a knife? I mean, she'll benefit from cutting one of those ugly toes off. But she's walking barefoot, which is unhygienic. What is like wearing silk stuff, like Zack says, cashmere and stuff like that. It's just like cooks like that, and the way she ridiculed Mindy Kaling when she said, look. Remember we did that story with the maid, Sean, that the maid said that Meghan Markle used to mock their Hispanic accent?
Yes.
Remember that we had that in it because we interviewed that maid, and that Meghan Markle used to mock, they were, Hispanish, the staff, right? The domestic staff, the servants, if she wants to call them like that. So she would mock them like because they couldn't say, Her Royal Highness Princess Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex is like a mouthful. And she used to make fun of their accent. So when I saw that with Mindy Kaling, I'm like, and I don't know why they left that in. Why do you think they would leave something like that in? Because it looks bad, doesn't it, Zach?
I mean, I secretly think that the producers and the editors couldn't stand her, and so that's why they leave all of these little things. Like somebody even pointed out that when in the first episode when she was making the popcorn with the full cob that she puts into the microwave, that they didn't even catch that when she pulls the popcorn out, that there's actual popcorn that's already on the counter, that it made it look like that popcorn was homemade out of the microwave, and it wasn't. So there were just a lot of those little things. I mean, and even like the moment with her and Mindy Kaling with the when she's like, what is, tell me about your look, and she like mocks her in that. I think a lot of those moments that don't make Meghan look good, you can tell like the editors could have very easily scrubbed that and given her the best possible edit, and they did it. And I think it's obvious that they don't, because they probably didn't like her. I mean, what we heard that there was reportedly 80 people that she had working on this show, which is insane.
Can you imagine if there had 80 people, Zach? Can you imagine if we had that budget and 80 people? Can you imagine what we do with that? Oh, please,
We would produce a good show.
Yeah, yes. And what do you think of her podcast? Because I got some news, Sean. I don't know if you guys know this, but you know that I don't know if you know Prince Harry's ex-girlfriend.
Which one?
Cressida Bonas. No,
Sorry?
Cressida Bonas. Cressida Bonas. Here, I'm actually sharing this with you.
Oh, okay, it's done.
I'm actually, oh my goodness, I got it up to 557. This is Cressida Bonas. And this is, she's launching a podcast, which is Lessons from Our Mothers. And she's actually lovely. She has proper A-lister Kate Winslet,
who helped shape who they are today. As mothers ourselves, we are curious to explore the valuable lessons we carry forward, the ones we choose.
She's there, and I mean, I left a comment, and she so kindly replied, this is so lovely. Thank you for sharing. And she had like 400, and I just did a live with P. Dinah, and she got a bunch of subs from that. But she's launching a podcast about mothers. It's called Lesson from Our Mothers, and she's launching on March 30th. And she's very beautiful, Zach. I don't know if you know her. And even in People magazine now, they're showing her. And guess who one of her guests is in the podcast?
Meghan Markle.
No. Look, I'm sharing this right now. This isn't People magazine. If you're sharing, I'm sharing you that screen.
Eugenie.
Princess Eugenie is one of her podcasts. The Shade. Look how beautiful. This is his ex-girlfriend, Zach. I mean, Harry's known for loving blondes, so I don't understand what he's doing with Meghan Markle.
Yes, because his first ex was it Chelsea David?
Yeah. Don't you remember when they asked him, "Oh, your girlfriend is from South Africa," and he said, "Yeah, but it's not like she's black or anything." Didn't know that, Zach?
A lot of naughty things Harry did, yeah. But yeah, now he's sort of freedom rights person of interest.
Good for him.
But what do you think of the podcast? What do you think is going to happen? Because she's in Lemonada right now, but nobody knows who the guests are.
I mean, does she even have I don't know. I mean, nobody wanted to come and do her Netflix show, so I don't know who she's really going to bring to the table. I mean, it's kind of just a ripoff of her last podcast that she did at Spotify, Archetypes, where it's like, I'm going to sit down with women and I'm going to pick their brains and their archetypes in the industry. And we went from archetypes to female founders, which is also strange because, I mean, I don't know what makes Meghan Markle a female founder. I've said, she founded herself a royal prince that she's never met before. She founded racism in the royal family. Like, I don't know what else she's going to be founding these days, but I don't know who's going to want to come on her podcast. She used all of her cards for Archetypes, and that was a complete flop. That podcast bombed, and then she didn't even get her full money because Spotify fired her.
I heard that she has her wedding gown design.
Oh God. Nobody cares. Who cares about the dress design? Who's like, yeah, let me listen to nobody cares.
No, but I
Right.
mean, Cressida Bonas has Kate Winslet, who's a proper A-lister, Oscar. Mary Berry, you probably don't know her. She's huge in the UK.
Yeah.
She has other huge A-listers that are coming to talk to her because her family, her mother is aristocracy, British aristocracy. Her mother has the title of lady, just like Lady Diana. Harry's mom. I mean, it would have been great to have Harry as a guest there talking about his late mother, don't you think, in her podcast?
Who do you think's disliked more then? Blake Lively at the moment or Meghan Markle?
Ooh, I mean, they're both kind of fighting for the crown. I feel like Meghan Markle's kind of unanimously disliked, whereas a lot of people are torn with Blake Lively at the moment because they want to do this whole, believe women and we want to believe that she's a real victim. So I think people are conflicted with Blake Lively, whereas Meghan Markle, everyone's kind of just determined she's insufferable at this point. So I think she takes the lead.
Viewers, put a 1 in the chat if you think Meghan Markle is more disliked. Put a 2 in the chat if you think Blake Lively is more disliked. We are with Zack Peter, and I'm going to put the link to his YouTube channel in the live stream chat. It is just plain Zack. Got almost 1,000 watching across all platforms, so please subscribe to Zack. We've got Paula's link in the description box. We've got Jen has her own channel as well. And we have got tons of questions have come in. I see all the ones coming in for Meghan. We've got tons of questions coming in about Meghan for Zack. But before I go over to the viewer questions then, Paula and Jen, have you got any more questions about Meghan for Zack?
Well, the thing is, though, I was going to ask you because that podcaster that supposedly received Amanda Hirsch, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had to do a live yesterday, and Sean. Yes, I did a live yesterday, and I swore like a sailor because I have, like Amanda Hirsch is a podcaster, right? But then I found out that her producers are Dear Media, and they wrote this article, which I did a live just now with P. Dinah. And it's actually, I found out that it was ghostwritten by Meghan Markle. It was written on March 6th by Dear Media. And then because people were asking, why did this woman send Amanda Hirsch a letter, right? And there's no address. It's like hand deliver. How would she get her address? And then when you read the article that she wrote, it's ghostwritten, it's pretty much horrific towards the royal family, especially to Princess Catherine. She calls her Katie Waity, all kinds of things. I mean, at one point she goes, the Kate, this is then, and then she addresses the name controversy, right? But the Kate Middleton hypocrisy. This is from Dear Media, which produces her podcast. She just had Ryan Reynolds, and she's a pro Blake Lively stan, right, Zack?
Mm-hmm.
And then, and this is what she wrote about Princess Catherine. She says, speaking of, let's talk about the inevitable Kate Middleton comparisons. When With Love, Meghan hit Netflix top 10, the first thing the royalists started squawking about was that Kate married for love, while Meghan married for status and money. This is interesting considering Kate never had a real job, followed William around throughout university, and even changed her major to be closer to him. The woman dedicated her entire early adulthood to securing that ring, even as the man is William, plowed through countless girls and college flings, earning her the Waity Katie nickname. This is Meghan. And this is the worst part. Meanwhile, Meghan Markle had an actual career before meeting Harry and downgraded her life to live in antiquated royal accommodations because she genuinely loved him. She downgraded her life. You think I'm kidding?
Wow.
I've done 2 videos. If I had money, I would have broken my laptop because I was so furious.
I mean, who believes that? I mean, she's downgraded her life now because she went from the royal family and now she's had this fall from grace. She turned her and Harry into the royal refugees that had to seek, asylum in Tyler Perry's mansion here in California. Like, it's insane that positioned themselves, like their fall from grace is crazy. Like she took him out of the royal family, and then now she suddenly wants to be a duchess again. But she suddenly, what did she give up her acting career? It wasn't even that hot of an acting career. She was on Suits. She wasn't even like the main character on Suits.
No, she did 138 minutes in all 7 seasons altogether. That was her contribution. They were counted by George the Giant Slayer. He took a hit for all of us and watched the series. And I'm serious. He counted. You know how George is, right? And he counted that it was a little bit under 138 minutes for the 7 or 8 seasons she was in. So that averaged to 1 minute and 27 seconds per episode out of the 45 or 46 minutes.
Wow. So will there be part 2 to With Love then, Zach?
Yeah, so it was already greenlit the pickup was for 16 episodes. So I know there were a lot of headlines that came out and like, oh, Meghan Markle gets a season 2. It's like, no, she was guaranteed a season 2. She was guaranteed a total of 16 episodes. They just only released the first 8, but to my understanding, they've already filmed all 16 of the episodes. So whether the first 8 did well or not, which I mean, I know they made the top 10 for like a hot second. They couldn't even keep the top 10 for a full week, but they grazed the bottom of that top 10 chart on Netflix, but it didn't perform as well as people want to believe that it did, because it's like the show was boring. It just, there wasn't anything special or unique or exciting about it. Like, I don't know, did you watch it and be like, yeah, let me go and spend $250 on fruit to make this platter?
You mean you don't like to sprinkle flowers on your
everything? She was just sprinkling flowers on everything, and then her
jam. How dare you? Meghan was there. That's what made it special. Every single person who came to that show said that she was so special and beautiful, and it's like when she sees Delfina you would think that she saw her for the first time. Oh, you're so tall. I'm like, girl, if she's your friend, you would know she's tall. It's kind of one of the things you'd know. It's like when you mentioned it, Zack, when you said that she found that her best friend, the hairdresser, is left-handed on the show.
I know, right?
Or when she's like, I'm going to make him his favorite snack. I got him peanut butter pretzels, but let me write peanut butter pretzels on the bag just in case he's allergic to peanut butter. It's like, you just said peanut butter was his favorite snack, and then you want to be mindful in case he has a nut allergy. And then people were like, she was just saying that in case somebody else ate the peanut butter pretzels. I'm like, one, peanut butter pretzels, they're pretty distinct. You can smell the peanut butter and you can see that the pretzel is stuffed with something. So you would presume peanut butter, number one. And number two, the whole point of her making this basket was for her friend Daniel, who was coming over, and this was the basket for his late night snack when he was in the guest room. So it was specifically made for Daniel. So the whole nut allergy thing was dumb. Like, I can't.
Right.
The main question.
To the questions, I want to actually interrupt. Zack, you seem top of the game on the celeb news. Have you seen Kanye's latest rant? Obviously, we've got to be careful of the wording.
Right.
His accusations, obviously, of Kim Kardashian being a sex transporter, as Sean would call it. On his latest, I was like, careful with that one. His latest steal on Twitter. What do you think of that?
I mean, that's why. Yeah, she's an astronaut. She transports people to and from space, according to Kanye. But so, I mean, the rants, I feel like he's just been very erratic lately. Obviously, we know that his mental state's kind of it's hit or miss, and he likes to go on these Twitter rants. I mean, the Kim, Northwest, Tate brothers, the shots that he's taken at Jay-Z and Beyonce's kids, the whole rant was just kind of wild, because not only did he accuse Kim of that, but then he was upset that I guess Kim Kardashian owns the copyright to the kids' names, which was a decision I guess they made when they first had the kids, was that they were going to trademark their names, so that when the kids grow up, they own the trademark to their names and they can make products or whatever they want to do, whatever business ventures they want to put out there. I mean, it is interesting because you hear the Kardashians and is it Lou Taylor? Why is the name blanking in my head? Their connections to Lou Taylor and connections to Diddy. So the Kardashians have very strange ties to very powerful people in Hollywood. That I don't know how deep involved they are. Obviously, I think that the money, I mean, if you follow the money, it's probably going to lead to a very messy place, but I don't know. It's hard to take Kanye seriously because some of the things that come out of his mouth are so wild and wacky, but then at the same time, it's like, but what if there is some fabric of truth to this? Because we've heard some of these rumblings for a very long time. Kris Jenner and all of her churches that she has, and all of the connections that she has to all of these really powerful people in Hollywood. Lou Taylor, yeah. WME, yeah. I mean, all of these connections are. I mean, nobody knows what to really make sense of it, but there's a lot of theories that have been going around for a long time.
And that just proves how surface level Meghan Markle is and how disconnected she is from that inner circle, because none of them want to touch her. No one. And then yet they all seem to be, there's always mention of their names, but it's never been publicly outed yet, apart from Kanye's, mental health rant on Twitter.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, even if Kanye is telling the truth or not, which I don't think Kim's part of, I don't think Kim's an astronaut here, but but was she maybe involved in some shady parties? Was she, rubbing some baby oil somewhere? Who knows? She may have been in the mix. She may know some stuff, right? But she may know some stuff. But I don't think I don't know if I believe that she had an active role. But the thing is, it's like, we don't know what to trust with Kanye. He could be telling us the truth. For all we know, Kanye could absolutely be giving us the truth, but he's so out there and wacky that it's like, how do we even believe anything that comes out of his mouth?
I think rub baby oil for sure. It's Khloe Kardashian. Remember that episode when she's talking about Justin Bieber walking around, that she'd seen him without clothes, and and apparently she used to be quite of a hit during those parties, wasn't she?
I think she used to work for Diddy at some point.
Wow.
I mean, like I said, they've been aware of these parties, I'm sure. I would have no doubt. Well, then there was also, I mean, I don't know how true this is because you can't track the following or unfollowing, but I guess somebody had noticed that the week that Diddy had gotten arrested, or the week that the raids had begun, right before that, Kim Kardashian had unfollowed Diddy on Instagram, which led people to believe that maybe she got some sort of heads up that the House of Cards was tumbling down. So I don't know. There's some sort of strange connection. People have not been able to make the dots between the Kardashians and Diddy, but
there's a lot
something there.
Involved there.
Kris Jenner used to babysit his kids and put pictures on Instagram about him and everything. She's got a lot of pictures with her and Diddy, and how she loved him and her. Did she marry that guy, Kris Jenner, or what happened with him? Corey. Did she marry her, or are they broken up, or what?
No, they're still together. Well, people don't even believe that Corey's really her boyfriend. They're not married. They're dating. I mean, there have been rumors that Corey Gamble's gay, and that he's the one that's actually connected to Lou Taylor. And Corey, when you look into his backstory, there's a lot of questionable behavior there, that maybe he's the thread or the fabric that ties them to certain people, but he's Kris Jenner's boyfriend, which I don't think.
Beard. That's what it's called. Kris Jenner's beard. It's Corey.
Yeah, the beard.
Oh my God! And Harry went skiing with Corey. Harry took a skiing trip. Yes, he did. He went skiing with Corey about a year and a half ago. And Meghan took a skiing trip with some other girlfriends. They didn't ski together, but he went with Corey skiing. Yeah, and I mean, Kris Jenner, it's been with Meghan Markle's stand. She got one of her jams and she promoted it in her stories. So there seems to be some sort of, and Khloe Kardashian is featured in Dear Media, who is the producer of that podcaster, Amanda Hirsch. Khloe Kardashian is just doing a podcast or a show and Dear Media is involved in that. So there's a lot of Kardashian links to Rachel Meghan Markle, also, there. And did Kim Kardashian get married?
No, I mean, she's been married before.
A ton of times.
Yeah,
no. I heard that she got married lately. She got married again, no? To a young guy or something like that?
Not recently.
No? Oh my
Mm-mm.
goodness.
Not
And
that
it's
much.
going to be interesting to see because also Chrissy Teigen has a podcast. Have you talked
Yeah.
about that on your channel, Zach? About Chrissy Teigen
No,
podcast,
I heard that she was launching a new podcast.
which is supposed to be a safe space for people. This is like one of the worst bullies in history kind of thing, you know? It's terrible. I find everything is terrible with these people. And I wanted to ask you something about Justin Baldoni and Blake. I know I'm sorry guys, but I really like it. It's just that did you see is it if they settle without an apology, is that gonna be good for Justin?
I
Do you
don't
think
think
so?
he'll accept a settlement without an apology. Because I mean, what good is the money if your reputation is ruined? You know. And if
Mm.
anything, if she doesn't, I think if she settles without an apology, her team will spin it into being like, oh, well, the only reason we settled is because the law doesn't protect women and it's a fixed system to, support abusers, and they'll twist it in some sort of way. So I think he either has to win with a jury or he has to or he has to get her to issue an apology. But I think those are the only two ways he settles this.
That's actually absolutely juicy. I don't know. I mean, I can't wait to see what's going to happen. I really want to see Taylor Swift text messages.
Me too.
Right. I mean, we won't get to see booty calls though because she won a partial order, right, Zach? And she applied to have like a protective order, but she only
Yeah. So
go ahead.
yeah, it's a protective order, but Blake was fighting for what's considered an attorney's eyes only protective order, which means anything that comes up in discovery can only be shared between the attorneys, and they can't share any of that information with their clients or discuss any of that information with their clients, which it was highly unlikely that she was going to get that. But she was trying to say, I'm a victim and my mental health. I don't want things about my medical records to get leaked in the press. And Brian Friedman, who's Baldoni's attorney, is like, we don't care about your medical records. Like, we don't even need to see those. But so she did get her medical records and her security measures and trade secrets that aren't related to the movie. So any business dealings that don't have to do with It Ends With Us, those all get protected, as well as certain private details for third parties. So while we are likely to get some sort of Taylor text messages, they're only going to be related to It Ends With Us and her involvement in that. So if she's texting about how, last night Travis was crazy in the bedroom, Travis Kelce, we're not going to hear about that. Those her booty call text messages will be protected.
That's terrible. That's
So we're not going to find out how Travis Kelce is in bed, unfortunately.
a Wolverine. Do you think that we're going to see something weird about? Sorry, I always call him. I feel like calling him Hugh Hefner. But
Jackman.
it's Hugh Jackman. Yes. We're not going to see anything, or we're going to see some text messages between them.
We'll likely get a deposition from Hugh Jackman. I don't know if we'll get any text messages. I don't know what correspondence he may have had in relation to It Ends With Us outside of the promotion, but he was very much involved in, the comedy skits and bits that Ryan Reynolds was doing to promote It Ends With Us, which was really weird because Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman aren't in the movie. So it was strange that they were even producing social media skits for it at all. So I'm sure we'll get a deposition for Hugh Jackman. We'll get a deposition for probably Bradley Cooper, because Blake Lively thanks Bradley Cooper in the credits for It Ends With Us. And we're told that Bradley Cooper and potentially some other A-list stars were part of this advanced private screening that Blake Lively held about the film before it came out. So we'll have to wait and see.
This is literally going to be juicier than the Johnny Depp Amber Heard court case where everything got dragged out. I cannot wait.
100%.
I'll get
Because
my
now
Meghan
you have
Markle's fake popcorn out.
You have all these other stars that are dragged in too, that it's like, it's going to be, I mean, this is
Taylor
so much
Swift.
bigger than Depp and Heard.
Can you imagine Taylor Swift walking into court? I mean, just that's gonna be brutal because Taylor Swift is trying to get herself. She hasn't been seen with Blake Lively in a while. She's no longer her drag, and I think she was like, "Bitch, if anybody, you're my drag, or not the other way around." You know what I mean? Taylor
The
Swift.
dragon flew away.
Right, guys, I've got to leave this stream as Sean and I know my babysitter, aka grandmother, is upstairs and she's got to head off. But it was lovely to meet you, Zach. Lovely to see you again, Paula, and I'll see you all shortly. Bye, Sean.
Bye. I wanted to ask you something because Do you think that we were talking about Diddy singing about, or giving other people up? And you know that Jay-Z just won, I don't know, a dismissal from this lawyer. How familiar are you with that? Do you think that Jay-Z is at all involved? Or why hasn't P. Diddy given these people out and gotten out before? How involved do you think Jay-Z is?
I mean, I think we would be naive to think Jay-Z had no involvement in any of this. I think Jay-Z has absolutely been involved. He's been aware. So the case that he was just dismissed from, I mean, it was a really tough case to begin with because it happened in like 2000, 2001. So it happened well over 20 years ago. There weren't too many details. The person wasn't willing to come out publicly. They just claimed that this incident happened and it involved 3 celebrities, one of them being Diddy, one of them being Jay-Z, and then an unnamed female celebrity was